Hello, beautiful Earth Angels. Welcome to Earth Angels Unite. Press go live on Instagram. Welcome, everyone. So happy to be back. We skipped last week. And it's an honor to be here with you and your beautiful angels today for podcast number 115, Safe to Grieve equals more joy with Archangel Azrael. On the other side of your grief is joy. The releasing process is not linear and can often look messy, chaotic, and emotional. Even though we signed up to experience the range of human emotions, we often resist this. Whether your heart is aching because of a recent loss or a past hurt, Archangel Azrael, the angel of comfort, and the safety nets of releasing are here to assist you in the releasing process so you can align with your soul's joy. I just love that. Welcome, everyone. We are here in this beautiful podcast to help you. You know, my goal, of course, my book. So I was looking for my book. In this podcast, I'm here to create a space of transformation, that you come one person and you leave another person, that you leave transformed. And really, we do this by shining our heart light onto the wounds, the fears, the issues in the tissues that are slowing the flow of our angel's love, that are keeping us stuck, keeping us small, keeping us hiding. And when we gather together, we are more powerful. In these podcasts, I'll be sharing teachings from my debut book, Receiving from Your Angels, 4 Practices to Heal Your Pain with Angel Love, and an oracle card, an angel activation to help you to relax and cherish your body, to trust your intuition to the next level, and to heal that pain, whether that pain is physical or emotional, with the love of your angels. And so my name is Jill Kemper, angel coach and author. As an angel coach, what I help my clients do is to heal the pain in their bodies with the love of the angels through the relax, release, receive process outlined in my book. And I'm an energy healer, so we focus on the spiritual meaning of that physical or emotional pain. We uncover the root of that pain, so it can be brought to the light for healing and fully transformed. Actually, I'm getting very clear on my mission, sort of my higher mission, which is to help you to transform that karma, to heal that karma, to release that karma that you came here to heal once and for all, for you and for your whole entire lineage. So I'm figuring out the words. I know the energy of what I want to do. And so I'm going to be talking about that more for the rest of the year. So I want to welcome everyone who will be here live today, everyone who's going to connect with the replay. I know many of you connect with the replay, and I'm so grateful for your beautiful presence, your beautiful support. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and even sharing this. If this resonates with you, sharing it with even just one friend. I know it can be intimidating to share your spiritual beliefs, out loud on, your social media, on your socials, but even just sharing this podcast with one friend, if it resonates. And so happy May. Can you believe it? Happy early Mother's Day. I want to say happy Mother's Day to all of the beautiful mothers. And the truth is, happy Mother's Day to the Divine Mother, to our mothers here on earth and in heaven. Many of you know my mom's in heaven. And so definitely Mother's Day hitting in a different way this time. Happy Tuesday. And yesterday we had Cinco de Mayo, right? And it was 5/5. So there was a 5/5 portal open for us to access the right. Whenever the numbers line up, there's a portal to the higher dimensions. And that's some of what we're doing here, right? We're opening up our the portals that we have within us, right? The portal of our heart. That's what this whole practice is about, right? Release and lead with your heart, the portal of your energy body, your aura, your chakras, the portal of your pain. Thank you, angels. Also, we are, yeah, that'll be next week. Next week will be full moon. It'll start this weekend. So, hello, welcome. Say hi if you're here. Okay. So, it was so interesting when I was coming up with these titles. So, where we are in the book, right? We've been journeying through every step of every practice of my book. And it's been such an honor. It's a pleasure and an honor. And it's been really grounding for me to deepen my connection to my medicine, to the angels, to my passion. So thank you for being here. So where we are on that journey, right? We've journeyed through all the steps of renew your devotion, which is about making that commitment, that devotion to the angels, right? Setting that crystal clear intention, staying devoted to it when the shadow arises, doing your practice every day, right? Over and over and over again. Then we move through the beautiful relaxation process. Relax and cherish your body, right? All the levels of relaxation, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and the archangels connected with it. And how relaxation is the gateway to angelic pain relief. And now we're in the practice of release and lead with your heart. We're in step, actually kind of forgot. I think it's step 4 because there's 5 steps in this one tomorrow, next week. Yeah, so this is step 4. Which is actually release, right? This is the release, but it's all about it's about the releasing process. It's about the safety nets of releasing. It's what I felt the angels were doing in this practice and in this step in particular was clarifying, simplifying the releasing process. And I'm going to talk a little bit about it today. But what I also realized is I did several if something that I shared here resonates with you, I actually did a podcast on each safety net of releasing. And I think that can be really valuable if you're in this kind of, I know I need to release, but I'm not sure what it is, or I know what I need, I know what I need to release, but how do I do it safely? And then I want to talk about the final practice, which we'll be going into at the end of this month and into next month, is the receive and trust your intuition, right? Because the whole book, the whole the whole point of what I do as an angel coach, right, is to help you receive your angel's love. And remember, it's not like sometimes they're sending you love and sometimes they're not sending you love. They're always sending you love. And it's not the love that changes, it's our perception of the love, right? That can get clouded by the fear and the pain and the wounds and the trauma. So before we receive, and actually, let me say that differently. Receiving and releasing actually happens simultaneously. We receive to release. We release to receive. But we're human and we're we're a spiritual being. We're a soul having a human experience. And there are some limitations, right? We're limited in the physical body of what our consciousness can process in each moment. And so we have it broken into these steps, even though they're actually happening at the same time. I hope I explained that well. Thank you, angels. So when I was tuning in, we're here with Azrael. And Archangel Azrael is the angel of comfort. He's the ultimate grief counselor angel. He is the angel who assists souls when they are leaving their physical body and transitioning, when they're leaving their physicality, when they're leaving their humanity, when they're shedding the body, and the soul is going on right? Other side, dimensions, heaven, whatever it is, right? Azrael is the angel that is there. And it can be so powerful to invoke, invite, intend that Archangel Azrael be with those who are transitioning in your own personal life, collectively. Hi, say hi if you're here. So sometimes Azrael is known as the angel of death because he is the angel that assists the death process, right? The releasing and shedding of the body onto the other side. And what's really cool about working with the archangels, right? Because they're these limitless beings of love and light that can be with everyone simultaneously and can work with the past, right? They can work with the future, right? Because they're timeless, right? They're not bound by time. So if you have a loved one who's already crossed over, like I have, and you didn't know about Archangel Azrael, you didn't know about the comfort and the love and the compassion and the support that Azrael could bring in that moment, send Azrael back to that moment in time, to their moment of death, to your moments of grieving, and just see. Hi, Michael, namaste. Just see what happens. It's pretty powerful. And I think all of us here have lost loved ones. All of us here have someone on the other side that we love, that we adore, that we miss. I know that's I'm still in the grieving process, having lost my brother. I mean, I cannot believe it's going to be almost 2 years since I lost my brother. He passed away in 8/18/2023. And then it'll be 3 years for my mom. And then many, many, many years for my dad. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. It was just this one little piece of wisdom that I received from the angels. And I can't remember when. I was trying to place when I received this piece of wisdom, but I can't remember. But I will say it was a long time ago. I mean, it was years ago. Excuse me. So my father's been passed away in 89. So I want to say this coming year's 36 years, 36, 37, can't add right now, but it's been a long time. And I remember after sort of like 20 years, maybe this was 16 years ago, a long time had passed, and we know that time heals all wounds, and we know time can heal our heart. There is something about the passing of time that can be a gift. And I think I was working with someone who was grieving, actively grieving, and at that time I didn't consider myself actively grieving. I felt like, it's been 2 decades since my dad's been gone. So much has, unfolded in my life. I wasn't feeling like I was actively grieving, but this person was. And I remember it was sort of a feeling. It was a feeling. It was a knowing that when we release the grief, and I know grief is so multi-layered and so painful. It's literally, I think, the emotion that creates addiction, in my opinion, because we don't want to feel it. We'd rather feel anything, right? We want to numb, escape, deny, exile. The depth of the sadness that we feel for our own personal loss, the losses that we see in the world. I know we're so, we're such sensitive as earth angels. We're sensitive. We're highly sensitive, highly intuitive souls. And we're empaths, right? We feel everything so, so deeply, right? And we know that sensitivity is a gift, but it's also hard at times. So I was working with that client. I was actually a massage client because this was many years ago. And I felt the angels say, when you release the grief, you will feel the joy of their soul. And I was like, and this isn't like, you probably already know this, but it was like, it came in so powerfully. And I felt such gratitude for that piece of wisdom. And that's sort of where this title came from. And I hope that as I keep sharing about the different losses that I've been through in this, journey, healing journey we're all on, I hope that I can start to feel more of the joy that is at the core of everyone's soul. My mom, my dad, my brother. Hi, welcome. Say hi if you're here. And it was profound. It was one of those moments where you're like, okay, like you have that when you get a download and you just feel this sense of connection, this sense of stillness, this sense of knowing, like this sense of peace. And it gave me this beautiful, beautiful peace. And I don't even know who I was working on, to be honest with you, when that download came through. I just felt like it was this beautiful presence. And maybe it was Azrael. At that time I didn't have the level of sensitivity I have now. Hi, Lauren. Back then I didn't have the level of sensitivity that I have to the angels, until I started really doing my own, work and inner work and all of that. So anyway, I hope that helps. That it's so essential to grieve. It's so essential to feel those feelings and then release them. And then today, is understanding the power of Azrael to be that ultimate grief counselor for you, right? To sit and send Azrael love from your heart, sit and receive comfort and compassion and love and wisdom from Azrael. He's also the angel of wisdom. So as the angel who helps souls transition, he's also the angel that can help you hear, see, feel, connect with your ancestors that have crossed over, some known and unknown. So aiding my clients in the releasing process is an absolute honor. And I feel that part of my mission is to demystify the releasing process, to make it more, to simplify it, to clarify it, to make it less, scary is not exactly the right word, but less intimidating, right? Because we can be intimidated by the releasing process and then we keep it stuck. Right. And when it gets stuck, what does it turn into? Right. If we were all here in a circle together, I'd have you raise your hand and answer. You can answer in the chat or comments. Let's chat right now. Pain. Right. If we keep it stuck, it turns into pain, illness, disease. So we got to get it out. And that's what step 4 is, right? Release, release, release. So the other thing that I help my clients with and what I feel very passionate about is that we're not doing this alone. This morning I was doing mindset work around my master class and I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe how many unintentional models I have, how many negative thoughts I have about one of my own. This is sort of off topic, but it's like what happened today. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm not holding myself in high regard. I'm not holding myself in high self-esteem. I'm not holding myself with like divine worthiness, the way the angels see me and hold me. Hold on. Let me work on that. And I had to release whatever was going on inside, self-judgment and just like an inner critic, to get back to my soulful self and my heart. Okay. Let me see what else the angels are saying. There's a couple things I wanted to share, but I wanted to speak from my heart to start. I always want to speak from my heart. And this step, right? These are the archangels of letting go. We started with, right, inviting the archangels of letting go as the first step in the releasing process. Then we talked about opening your grateful heart, having gratitude, self-appreciation. That's what it is. It's like, oh, that's what was missing. The missing ingredient of the fuel for my master class, which is coming up on the 22nd, it was self-appreciation. I just wasn't appreciating myself and my medicine and and it's an old pattern that I've been working on forever, but I'm determined, right? So it's like a layer comes up and it's like, instead of being afraid of like, oh, my shadow and this pain, it's like, oh, wait, let me love it, right? The next step was relaxing the mind, right? Softening and quieting the mind, sinking the heart and mind, releasing those and surrendering, dissolving those micro hurts, which we talked about last time. And now we're in this step, right? The actual release. So it's so important when we're talking about releasing, when we're talking about a topic, to talk about what it's not and what it is. So releasing is not, hard. It's not dumping on anyone, numbing, escaping. It's not causing yourself or anyone else harm. I think that's really important. And I think the most sort of key tenement is that we're not getting rid of our parts. So when we release, we're not getting rid of that part. We're getting rid of the toxins inside of that part, the pain inside of that part, not the part itself. So there's a little discernment there. Let me know if that makes sense. So what is releasing, right? It is simple, but not always easy. It's about creating space. Really? That's all I do. As an angel coach, what I do is I help my clients create space between their soul and their part, right? And what are we putting inside of that space between the soul and the wounded part, right? Angel love. Compassion, comfort, peace, joy, healing, light, whatever it is you need, right? Whatever your heart says your fuel is. So we're creating space for more of your soul's light, for more of your soul's love, to be inside your body, to be inside that pain point, right? Whether that pain is physical or emotional. The good news is if we heal it when it's still emotional, we can heal it before it gets physicalized. Don't worry, if it's physicalized, we'll heal it too. The good news about it being physicalized, if you have a physical illness, if you have a physical issue, right, an autoimmune issue, the cancer journey, whatever it is, different itises, right, all the kinds of arthritis and itises that we can have. There's a chance to heal, once it's physicalized, there's a chance to heal that completely so that you never experience it again in future lives. If you learn the lesson, that's what this step and the next step woven together, the release and the receive step, teach us, invite us into, right? Is what lesson am I learning from this pain, right? We'll get there. So releasing is surrendering control, unburdening, conscious and explicit to affect a real change, to create transformation, right? And it's also so brave. So if you are releasing, if you've been releasing, if you're ready to release, understand how courageous that is to feel it, to heal it. So understand that there's many ways that we can release. We release through relaxation, through receiving, through our breath, through intention, through our energy body, right? Our roots are all parts of our energy body we can release through. I have roots here. We release through emotions. We release through movement. And understand that it happens in layers. And it was interesting as I was looking at previous notes that I had written and getting downloads for today, they said waves. And I was like, oh, because I always thought layers, and I do agree with layers, and it still is layers, right? Till we get to the core of it. But then I was like, oh, it does like kind of come in waves, that releasing process. So it's another way to look at it. Of course, the good news is we have these amazing, amazing, amazing safety nets of releasing. When I received this download for the releasing process, I felt relief. That's what I felt, was like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. Thank you for showing this to me. And I know it was Azrael, because Azrael is sort of he's the keeper, right, of the 3 safety nets of releasing. He's the bringer of the 3 safety nets of releasing. That's why it's so important to work with Azrael. And I think some of us can have like a little bit of like a resistance to working with Azrael, because we're like, oh, he's the angel of death. No, 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 no. Well, first of all, if we're really living our human life to its fullest, we are going to die many times, right? We're going to have those ego deaths. And they can be incredibly painful as we shed the skins, right? We're in a year of the snake this year. I think it's so fascinating that we're in a 9, a universal 9. 2025 is a 9, right? It's all about completion and endings and mastery. And then we're also in this shedding of the skins, right? And there's so much more medicine to the snake. It's not just shedding. So I'm hearing the angels say something. What are you releasing? For those of you who are here, there's a few of you here live. Put in the chat what you're releasing. I would love, love, love to hear that. Because I heard the angels, they were saying something, they were saying a couple things before I share the safety nets of releasing. Thank you. So a couple of episodes ago, a couple of podcasts ago, I talked about regret. And, you know, the regret I felt around certain things that happened in my mom's, you know, illness and death, and then several things around what happened with my brother, and how, you know, I felt like, oh, I didn't show up as much for him as I could have. More emotionally, I did physically show up, but emotionally, you know, I was kind of a mess. I was grieving my mom, you know, and realizing, oh my God, that was the last year of his life. And it's still like, you know, makes me cry when I say it, but I know I have to keep saying it so it heals. But I like feel so, I have to tell you how much better I feel and how much less regret and less blame I have from that transmission, from that moment that I shared that out loud. And, you know, I was very emotional. And this is the most tender practice of all. And it's the one that we need the most help with. We need help to release. Because it's an essential part of the healing process. We need to do it. But there's something so powerful about being witnessed. And so that's what I help my clients with, you know, to safely release, to peacefully release, to gently release, to compassionately release, and receive that message, that medicine, that healing that they need. And it is a process. And that's what I walk my clients through, right? I help them create a beautiful daily practice of receiving love from their angels based on their intention, based on their fuel. And then we meet and have these beautiful, powerful, transformative healing sessions. And then we keep sort of tweaking as we go their practice, keep refining it. Usually we keep simplifying, clarifying, refining it, so it continues to support the full transformation and full release of that karma. So if you are interested in hiring me as your angel coach, hearing more about what I do, I have a free consult. It's called the Angelic Pain Relief Consult. It's a 1-hour conversation over Zoom, and you don't have to prepare anything. You just come as you are. And this is the heartfelt, compassionate space where I'm listening to you and your angels. And I'm going to help you understand what your pain is really about. You think it's this, but it's actually this. I'm going to share what your angels are saying about your pain, which is huge, creates so much relief. Huge, huge, huge amounts of relief. And then in that consult, I'm going to pull an archangel for you. And that's the archangel, right? We're going to clarify and simplify and get really clear. Like, what is this? What's your healing intention? And then I pull an archangel that's going to support that healing intention and some of your next steps forward. If we're a good fit, I'll share the details of my coaching program with you. I also share in that invitation, something you can take home with you as well is a powerful tool called an angel invitation. And it's something you can start saying every single day to start inviting your angels, guidance, love, support, protection, wisdom, healing into your daily life. So all that information is on my website, jillkempnerhealing.com. There's a free consult tab, and there's just a short questionnaire to fill out. Once I receive that application, I'll review it, and then we'll set up the free consult. I have several openings this month. Hello, welcome. So I'd love to see you and your angels there. And I'm just going to share a couple more things here about the safety nets of releasing. I'm just listening to the angels. Awesome. So happy to see you. So there's 3 safety nets of releasing: cushions of comfort, release only when ready, and no rushing. Those were that was sort of the 1, 2, 3. But here's the thing about when we work with the angels and these multidimensional beings, all of this is happening simultaneously. As long as you ask Azrael to support you in a safe release and you welcome his comfort, all of this is going to happen synchronistically, simultaneously, synergistically, without you having to think about it. And logically learning about it now makes it easier to surrender to the process. Does that make sense? So I'm just getting downloads. So the cushions are comfort. Of course, it's exactly what it sounds like, right? When you're getting ready to release, the angels surround you with more love, more comfort, more compassion, more gentleness. So, and this is the piece of the cushions of comfort, so that you never feel the full intensity or depth of the pain. How perfect is that, right? Because a lot of the pain that we're releasing is actually past pain, right? It's buried pain, right? It's pain even possibly from a past life, yeah? So we got the cushions of comfort, then we have the release only when ready. And I love this one because it's like, you know what? You're never going to release anything you're not ready to. If you're being guided to release, you're ready. And here's the thing that I love about release only when ready. Your angels know to what degree you're ready to release. Like, hello, they know that you'll stay balanced, that you'll stay calibrated, right? Even if in the moment you're sobbing uncontrollably, your body is shaking, like, you're moving all around, whatever it looks like. I remember I wrote this in my book when I started to sort of spontaneous release, I guess, if you will. I'd be doing yoga, I'd be stretching, I'd be breathing and relaxing. And then, my body would kind of like tremble. Or, I would just start, bawling for, 10 seconds or 30 seconds. And then I would kind of like settle down and be like, oh. And that before I knew about all this, I was like, this is weird. Is there something wrong with me? Blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, years and years and years later, I realized I was experiencing that to normalize what the releasing process looks like. So I hope that's helpful. And then no rushing. And what I love about no rushing, there's a song, You Can't Rush Your Healing by Trevor Hall. And it's like there's this infinite patience and spaciousness and unconditional love for you and your journey, for your releasing process. Um, there's no pushing, there's no urgency. Even if you only release this much, like there's no judgment. Like it's like, oh, whatever you released, it's great, right? And of course, we want to enjoy the after effects of the release, right? By receiving, enjoy the after effects of the release. Enjoy, right? Well, hello, if we can release that grief, what do we get to feel? What's on the other side of our grief, right? Our soul's joy, their soul's joy. That's the gift. And it's hard because I think we are in our humanity, we want to hold on to that grief as a remembrance of them. And I got back, whenever I got that download that I started this whole podcast out with, it was like, no, holding on to the sadness, the loss, the grief, the pain of their loss, the pain of their death, no matter how it happened. And I had 3 traumatic deaths. My father was murdered. My brother was killed by a truck on the highway. My mom died of bile duct cancer, and it was horribly, horribly painful. So I've been through the ringer with the type of deaths, and there was this kind of justified grief, I have to feel sad so that I can remember them. And the angels are like, no, you have to feel joy so you can remember them. And that's what I'm coming here to invite you into today, is can you start to feel some joy? The goal is to feel the joy of the purity of their soul. Does that resonate? And then as part of this whole process, as part of the safety nets of releasing, as part of the releasing that happens, to get to, because I get this a lot, like, oh, can I heal this karma completely? Can I heal this so I don't have this pattern anymore? I don't have this pain anymore. I don't have this trauma anymore. And my absolute knowing is yes, we can, right? When we keep asking over and over and over again, and I'm so committed to this in my programs, what lesson am I learning from this pain? If you want to say it in a different way, what's the deeper meaning of this pain? What's the higher purpose of this pain? I have a client who doesn't like lesson. It's a trigger word for her. Fine, change it, right? If you've got a trigger word, evolve it, right? And understand why you're triggered around it. Maybe there's some healing there for you too, yeah? So I'm just listening to the angels. Let's ask that question. Let's invite, we're going to do just like, I really want to do I'm shifting into not doing as many like super long meditations and just going into these like mini activations. So let's get an activation with Azrael. Let's see what he has to say. And this is why I wanted my book, because I wanted my, his prayer. It's okay. We'll create one today. So closing your eyes, taking some cleansing breath. And as you breathe, relax physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. As you breathe, ground. Feel your body in the now. Feel your body on the earth, deeply connected through the energetic roots all the way to the heart of Pachamama. Feeling her heartbeat. And stepping into your own heart temple. Your beautiful sanctuary, the holy haven, where all of you are loved, seen, heard, and held. And we want to welcome the beautiful archangels of letting go, the archangels of release and lead with your heart. Archangel Shamuel, the angel of peace, Archangel Zadkiel, the angel of compassion, Archangel Azrael, the angel of comfort, and Archangel Jeremiah, the angel of mercy. Feel and see them, sense and know they're surrounding you in a circle of love. and radiating their medicine to you. And Azrael comes to the front of you with his medicine of comfort, of wisdom, of joy. And he just sends you this beam of love, this beam of light, this beam of comfort into your heart. And let all of the grieving parts, whether it's a current grief, or any past griefs, the parts that are sad and grieving and lonely and hurting, let them all receive this comfort. Feel, sense, and know that the moment we welcome Azrael, and we thank you, Archangel Azrael, for your love, your comfort, your creamy white light, your creamy yellow light to surround us. Thank you for guiding, surrounding, directing, and protecting us for our highest good and highest healing. We welcome your comfort, your wisdom, your joy. We welcome the connection to our wise counsel, the wise counsel of our soul, the wise counsel of the angels and archangels to assist this releasing process. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. And so we feel the cushions of comfort here, extra joy, extra compassion, extra love as we get ready to release some of this sadness, some of this loss, some of this grief that we're feeling. Maybe it's grief, maybe it's hurt, whatever it is. Knowing that as part of the integration process, as part of the releasing process, you only have to feel the smallest amount. You will be safe. The safety net of release only when ready. That your angels know what degree you're ready to release. And there's no right or wrong. And then this beautiful medicine of no rushing. So feel the infinite spaciousness of the heart temple, the unending, infinite, unconditional love within you and around you that is your true nature. Feel that. Feel Azrael helping you feel that beyond the pain, beyond the grief, beyond the wound. Feeling the wholeness of your soul, the wisdom, the love, and the compassion of your soul. And know that as you release, your body may twitch and shudder, your emotions may rise and fall. You may be going into a deep state of stillness. However you release is perfect. I'm willing to release all of this grief and surrender it into the arms of my angels. I'm willing to release all this emotional pain, all this hurt into the arms of my angels. And then we bring our hands to our hearts. In prayer mudra, and we ask, loving angels, what is the deeper meaning of this grief, of this pain, of this hurt? What lesson am I learning from this grief, this hurt, this loss, this sadness? I'm willing to learn the lesson, the deeper meaning. I'm willing to receive the higher purpose for complete transformation of this wound, of this karma. Let this grief and the release, there you go, of this grief connect me with the joy of my own soul and the joy of the angels and the joy of that soul I am grieving. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. And so we welcome the answer to that prayer, to that question, into our conscious mind, into our heart, into our aura, in divine and perfect timing. It may come in a dream, when you're sleeping, showering, walking, doing the dishes, during the mundane, or during the meditation. We let it come. We receive it. So just receive as we welcome a closure of this activation from Azrael, this receiving and releasing process, that our energy bodies are recalibrated, to our normal daily activities on all 4 levels of our being: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, in all directions of time, for our highest good and highest healing. And we always dedicate the healing that you've received today to all our relations in all directions of time. Feel, see, know, and trust. Your angels are bowing to you with love, devotion, and compassion as we seal this inner journey with a namaste. All right, my beautiful ones, namaste. I want to pull a card for you. I was trying to decide if I would show you my card, which is so cool, but I'm going to pull a card just for everyone who is here live, everyone who's connecting with the replay. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Lauren. Nice to see you. I know there were a few other ones. Oh, there's Pete. Hi, Pete. Namaste. All right. How is it that you are releasing that grief and receiving the joy of your soul? Let's see what your guardian angels are saying. It's time. You are here to make a difference in the world, and it's through your actions that you can shape and influence time. Be brave, be resolute, and step forward with confidence. I just love he's got kind of like a Melchizedek, ancient wizard energy, kind of a Metatron energy, Metatron Raziel. It's time. It's time to feel your joy. It's time to release that grief. It's time to feel your joy. Be brave and courageous in your releasing process. Be intentional in your releasing process. If you need help with that, reach out to me for that free consult. I'd love to have that conversation with you and to support you. What's coming up? I'll be here the next couple of weeks for continuing podcasts. We're actually going to be in the final step, and I'm going to find my book. I don't know where it is, but I'm going to buy more too. So that's on my list this week. And you can get a copy of my book on Amazon. I will be here the next couple of weeks for podcasts. I have a masterclass on May 22nd, Reclaim Your Power. When you're in chronic pain with angel love. I'm so excited about that. I've been talking about it and sharing blogs, and I'll keep talking about it. And on the 29th, I have a virtual angelic relief. Look who showed up in my personal reading. And I love this so much. Archangel Raphael healing this month. And it's exciting because Raphael's going to come in and calm the monkey mind and do a beautiful healing and activation on us for that virtual angelic relief. It's only $38. It's a 1-hour angel healing over Zoom. And what's so great about it is whether you can be there live on the 29th at 4 p.m. Central Time, or whether you connect with the replay, and as many times as you do, you will have that beautiful healing, calm your mind anytime that anxiety gets loud, anytime that pain gets loud. So I'd love for you to join us there. And then I have some other wonderful events. I'll talk more about that next week. I love you all. Thank you for being here. I hope you have an amazing day. And if you're not signed up for my newsletter, that's the best way to stay up to date on events. And I always send this replay in there. So I would love to connect with you in that way. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you all. Lots of love. Namaste. Go feel your joy. See you soon.